Well, as you know, I've been waiting for some parts to come for the TGB moped. We've still got the engine to strip down and split the crankcases. I've still got the stand to get off. The centre stand pin is actually seized in, and we cut that the last time in the last video, but I haven't actually got out here. The temperature is about 10 degrees in here at the moment. We just put the heater on, and Sharon's probably going to go and make me a cup of tea, so I'm looking forward to that. But I've been ordering some new parts for it, as you probably remember, and I was waiting for them to come. So let's just take a look at what we've got to fit onto this motor. Well, as you can see, we've got a lovely array of parts here. We've got the 60cc head kit there, as you can probably see. The barrel piston's already in there with the rings on it. As I say, that's just going to give us a little bit more extra performance there. We've got a new gudgeon pin to go on there, new circlips, and also a new small end bearing. That's a brand new crank we've got there. We've also got the new crank seals to go on, and we've got the two new bearings for the actual crank as well, which we've got to fit into the casing before we assemble it all together. So all in all, I'm going to try and do a little bit of work on this now. I don't know how far I'm going to get with it. It's actually snowing outside at the moment, so I was going to do some work in the garden, but seeing as it's snowing, we're hoping to see if the polytunnel will hold up, since I've strengthened it the other day. But let's see if we can actually get to the stage where we can split the cases on this. Right, well, as you can probably see there, this pin has got stuck in here. This holds the centre stand on, and I'll need to actually remove this bracket before I can actually separate the cases. So I have tried heating that pin up, and I was hoping that I was just going to be able to drift it out, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So what I'm going to have to do is to think of another way of getting it off. I might have to take the starter motor off, which is actually there, which sits here, because I don't want to have to heat this up and then risk getting these wires damaged here. So I think I'm going to take this off first, the old starter motor. Now these looks to be fixed by Phillips screws, and one thing I want to make sure here is that you get a screwdriver that actually fits the slot. So I'm just going to get a hammer and just tap the screws as well, because sometimes they fill up with crap and they don't seat properly. As you can see there, they're not actually turning. I may try to get the mole grips on them. Failing that, I could apply a bit of heat. So let's just try this one here first, the one we've been working on, and then try and crack it that way. I think we've got a turn on that. Let's try again. Yes, we did. Right, now the thing is, although we've got a turn, I don't know whether it's the bolt that unturned or whether it's actually in the process of stripping the threads. So I'm going to play it by ear. That's really tight. I would suggest that that could be stripping the thread. So what I'm going to do is to heat it up with the little blowtorch and try and release the threads without stripping or breaking the actual bolt in the hole. And this trouble arises when you've got two different metals, especially alley and mild steel, for example. They can corrode together because they create corrosion when there's two separate different metals. So I'm just hoping this is a sort of a last chance saloon tip before I put any more pressure on. As I say, the head did turn, but I'm hoping it wasn't just the head of the bolt spinning off, and that just means that if I did do that, that's going to cause me other problems where I've got to drill the hole out and then re-tap the thread. So, you know, when you're taking apart old motors, this is one of the things that you probably really want to avoid, old bolts snapping off. So anything you can do to prevent that happening is possibly a good idea. And what I'm doing by heating it up like this is hopefully heating the surrounding alley up, which will expand, and because the steel inner bolt is more solid, that outer alley should heat up quicker than the bolt and maybe just give me enough tolerance to snap the thread without breaking it, basically. So these are handy little blow torches to have. I got this off eBay for about £13, if I remember rightly. Just give it a little tap as well. I could squirt it with WD-40 as well, I suppose, but just something just to agitate the threads. Turn. There's a bit of movement. I think that'd be a good time to hit it with a little bit of WD-40. Obviously turn the flame off before I do that, because that'll maybe catch in light, and hopefully that will get in there. As I say, now I felt a bit of movement. You can probably see there, look. There was no sign of that moving at all, was there? Before? No. Hey, look, broken off. So that initial turning, which I did, obviously, we didn't have to weaken it off, but that's going to be a trickier job now, to drill them holes out to attach the starter motor at a later stage. Well, I'm just going to carry on, do the other ones now, and I'll see you in a minute. Right. Okay, well, I've just realised that there was 2 Allen bolts here. One was being held down that electrical connector there, which is obviously down to earth. So I've just managed to take them 2 Allen bolts out, and I thought I'd just give this a little tap, and it looks like you can withdraw the whole starter motor on this aluminium mount that's there, and I've just given it a few little taps, and it seems to be lifting up. So I'll just see what happens here. There we go, look. Oh, look at that. How about that, look. Rubber seal there, obviously, to hold it in. But that mount there, look, has obviously got electrical connections on it. Let's pull that off there and see what connection we got under there. Is it a bolt or is it a spade? It's a little Phillips screw. So if I undo that, well, in actual fact, I don't need to undo that, because as you can see, the whole lot comes away with the connector. So that's the starter motor out now. And as I said, the problem which I've got, which I probably didn't need to touch actually, looking at it now, is that that bolt is actually snapped off in there. So what I may do, as you can see, I can see the other side of it there. I may drill through that side, and then I'll re-tap it, or I may be able to save the threads. I'm not too sure yet. But as you can see, even that one, if that one snapped off, I could do exactly the same, because there's a hole there on that one. But for anyone with one of these, you can see that there's a little O-ring seal there. That is the starter motor, and it comes off in one lump sum via them 2 Allen bolts. So that's handy. Let's put that to one side. Up there. And 2 different size bolts. The shorter one went in that side, so I'm going to put that back in. And the longer one went in there. And I'm going to put that back in there, just so that we know there is a difference in sizes there. Now, although I'm going to be splitting the crank, I will just stuff some paper in there, because there's loads of debris that is collected around the back here, as you can probably see. And I'll just fold up some kitchen roll and just push that in there. I know, as I say, I know it's all coming apart, but it's just a little precaution. So that's that. Right, okay, so we've got that off, and now that gives me better access to this centre stand. Now I'm going to try heating this up one more time, and then I'm going to try turning it with the mole grips. If I can, I will try and retain this bar, if I can get it out in the 2 pieces, because I'll just weld that back together there when I put it in, because trying to find a centre stand bar, I've been struggling to do that, so I may keep that if I can to use it again. So don't know whether this is going to be man enough, but I will try and heat up the outside. I'm not holding much chance for this to do the job. I don't think it's man enough really, but I'll give it a go anyway. I have tried squirting fluid WD-40 in and around this joint before when I first initially cut that there, but I mean it's all little things like this that, you know, give you hassle when you're trying to do a straightforward job. But these are the things that normally you need, these little tips and tricks to sort of get over problems. As I say, I'm not going to say this is going to work at all, but I think this blowtorch is a little bit too small. I've got a bigger one, but it don't sort of work when you tilt it up the wrong way or tilt it whatever, so we'll just try and make do with this because I've got it at hand. Normally you push that pin out and I would have had this casing apart by now, but as I say, you come up against things like this and you just got to be patient and deal with the situation. Otherwise, what's the alternative? You've either got to give up or give it to someone else to do, which is going to cost money, or it never gets done and you leave it. So those are the three options. Tell you what, where's my bigger one? Where's my bigger one? That's here somewhere. As I say, this one's a little bit temperamental. Where's the lighter now? There's always something. I'll tell you what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to use this one to light this one. Well, let's see what this one does. It's a bit bigger flame. This is one of those cheap ones I got off of eBay for about £3 sent over from China, and it's supposed to have its own igniter. Well, that didn't work when I think it worked once when I got it, but I've just ordered another one of these from the UK. Looks pretty much similar, but it's twice the price. But they fit these gas bottles because these are the gas bottles I've got for. Is it a cooker? A little cooker I've got. So I've got loads of these gas bottles, so I thought I might as well get one with gas bottles I've got plenty of. So let's say if it doesn't work, then I will have to cut it out, or at least grind the head off of the bolt this side so that I can actually slide the centre stand off. So that's my final option, and then when I've got the cases separated, then I'll be able to punch these out by sort of putting it in above a vice or a solid thing. I can't do that while it's like this, you see, so this is sort of just a last chance saloon guess. Just sort of see what temperatures we're reaching there. Got me a laser gun here. It's at 117, so it should be hot enough. So let's just relocate that again. Nah, it's not having it. Typical, isn't it? Abort mission on that. Unbelievable. So this is the other problem I've got now. Get that off there. Cool that down a bit. Is cutting this head off so that I can actually remove the centre stand so that I can actually separate the casing. This is the only thing now stopping me from getting all the bolts out to undo the casing. So let's have a look. It looks to me like we're going to have to cut this wide head off here so that I can actually lift up this stand out of the way. So I've got the little Dremel tool out and I'm hoping that we can just sneak in there with this. So let's give it a go. Right, okay, that's pushed it near enough to the limit there. Right, well I've cut. You've got to be so careful with these little fine discs because they just spin off and break. They're very, very brittle, these, so that's why you've got to take your time with them. I think they do make some of these now that are more solid. But as I say, I haven't got none of them, so I'm stuck with these little ones that will disintegrate very, very quickly if you apply any sort of pressure to them at all, so you've got to be very careful. Let's just try one more in there. We'll have to get some of them, but for getting into a little job like this, a Dremel is a very handy tool. Right, okay. So let's have another go. I've done it again. Right. Okay. Maybe I'll better lever it off now. It's virtually there, you see. There we go. Here it comes. There we go. Yeah, it was only a little bit holding that on. So what I'll do now is I'll just cut a little bit down here with a hacksaw and hopefully punch it through. Silly little things like this hold you up. Right, so as I say, I need to cut a bit more down here because I need the clearance to punch it through, you see. That's it. Right, so let's put that over again that way. And I'm hoping just to push that through, I'll need a centre punch. Now, as soon as I haven't got a centre punch, the nearest thing I've got is a masonry drill. So let's just put that on there. God, that's solid. That is solid. As you can probably see, there's no way I would have been drifting that out. No way. You wouldn't believe it, would you? You wouldn't believe it. I'm going to try and heat that up again. Right, okay. I've tried hitting it with heating it up again, holding that on there like that, and then giving it a good whack from the inside to try and push it through. It doesn't want to know. It's not coming out that way, and I don't want to hit that too hard because this is cast aluminium, and there's a very good chance that we could break something off and shatter it there. The only option I've got now open to me is to actually cut the stand, which is the easiest option, and then re-weld that back on afterwards. And when I've got this apart the casing, I'll be able to put it on a workbench, cut the rods off flat, centre punch them and drill them out, and that's the only real way I'm going to do it. So I'm going to have to cut this off now by hand. I could do this with the Dremel, but in fact I'm going to do it with the Dremel. I'm not going to mess about. Why make it hard and awkward for myself? That's what automated tools are for, isn't it? So that's what I'm going to use it for. Right, let's give this a go. Oh, it's double thickness, isn't it? There's double layer, there's another layer underneath it. Oh dear. Oh, I've got to cut through that same again. Right, let's try that. You wouldn't believe it's taken me all this time just to do this, would you? Right, let's broke that little bit out. Now, please come off. It makes you want to scream, it really does. It really does. Here we go, here we go. Right, I'm hoping that that's enough. There we go. Unbelievable. That has caused me a right headache today, to the extent where I don't want to do any more on it. So I'm going to go inside and have a cup of tea, edit this video and put it up. See, I like showing videos like this because sometimes things don't go to plan and you've got to make do with what you've got around you. Otherwise, things never get done. It's all right saying, oh yeah, you should have done it this way, you should have done it that way. We all know how things should go in an ideal world, and when you look at a manual and things come apart easily. But sometimes you've actually got to make a decision on the spot to get over a situation. There's no way that pin was coming out there. Perhaps the way to do it would be to heat that up hotter. I was only getting it up to about 150 degrees, if that. Aluminium's got a melting point of about 600 degrees C. I haven't got the equipment to heat it up any hotter than that. So I've had to go to plan B, so to speak, and sort of work out a way of getting it out. And that's the way I've had to do it. It's given me some more work with regards to making up that again, but at least I'll be able to cut this, separate this casing now. Once I've taken the rotor off, that's another problem because I haven't got a puller for that. Cut these bars off flat, as you can see. These weren't coming out whatsoever. As you know, I've tried knocking it through that way. I've tried knocking it through that way. And the trouble is that once you start knocking it, it starts spreading, and then you're never going to push it through. So the only way for me to deal with this now is to cut them off level, flat, centre punch it from this side, put it out on the flat worktop, and drill straight away down, and then slowly increase the size of the drill till we've actually drilled out to the size of the hole. Find a new pin, repair the actual stand, and then put it back together, maybe with a nut and bolt on the end or something like that. I'm not too sure yet. But anyway, there's not much left now. As I said, that stator's got to come off yet. That pulls off this way. And underneath here, I think you'll find will be the bolts that hold the crankcases together. This is a split there, as you can probably see. There will be a row of bolts all the way around there. This has got to be separated. And then I can take all this apart then and clear it all up and get it ready for reassembly. Well, I'm going to finish this video here. I didn't get done what I wanted to get done, but I'm sure you've seen that problems do happen sometimes, and you've just got to get on and get over them with what you've got. Anyway, thanks for watching this little video. Not much to this one, unfortunately, but hopefully in the next one we'll see the casings all apart, as I say, and then we can really start making plans to get this back together. Anyway, thanks very much. See you later. Bye for now.